What is up, people? Jean Carlos here with the Total Body Training Podcast. And today's topic is I don't have time to work out, and neither do you. So we are going to go ahead and get started. And we're going to talk about time. This is one of the most common things that I hear people say that they're struggling with having or finding the amount of time. And I completely believe you. I completely understand why you would say that. I have been there myself. And sometimes, to be honest, I struggle with it too. So I don't have time to work out. These are the reasons why people typically don't have time to work out. Maybe they have kids, so they're picking up their kids from school, or they're taking them to school, or, they find that when they're working out, they're getting interrupted with calls, or they're getting interrupted with a very small baby or something like that, right? Something that really gets in the way of you taking care of your health, okay? That could be the case. Or maybe it's work. Maybe you are working a shitload of hours, so you're working all day, and you work into the wee hours of the evening, you barely get any breaks. This is something I can relate to. I don't have kids that I know of myself, but I do know what it's like to be very, very busy because, well, I'm a business owner. So I'm constantly out taking care of things, working on things, fixing things. I get that. All right. I really, really do in those regards. It can be tricky sometimes, even when you're owning a gym, to find the time to get in there and work out. School. So maybe you are a student right now and you're really trying to dedicate yourself and you're really trying to work out a lot. You're trying to work out. You're trying to work, excuse me, you're not trying to work out. You would like to work out, but really what's going on is you're so busy, studying, writing papers, writing reports, and then, couple that with the fact that maybe you're a student who has to work. I know I had to work when I was in school. All of these things can be a huge time drain on you, and you find that I don't have the time to get in there and exercise, okay? Or maybe you have a partner, okay? So when you're not working out, you want to spend some downtime. You're trying to cultivate this relationship with this person, that hopefully you will have a long-lasting relationship with, something like that. Hopefully, maybe, or maybe not, whatever floats your boat. It's a free country. Either way, those things can be a little bit of a time suck, especially if your partner isn't into exercising, which I see more often than not. You would think you'd see the opposite, but I see it very often where one person is trying to exercise or trying to take better care of themselves, but the other person, they're just not that interested in that. They're not that kind of person, or maybe they feel like they don't have to. Whatever the case might be there, sometimes that can be a disincentive. And, time can kind of get taken up when you're spending time going on dates or spending time just seeing that person when you get home, especially if you've had a long day, a busy day, right? Those are definitely things that come up when you have a partner. Okay. Another one can be family. So you have a family, you have grandparents, maybe you have, a parent that you're taking care of, you have brothers and sisters, maybe you have to take care of them because your mom and your dad can't do that, or maybe they aren't capable of doing it on their own, right? Maybe you're just really responsible for a lot of things in people's lives and they really count on you. So family needs your help and your attention. Taking a little sip of this Ozark water here. Maybe that's the case, that they can't get around to it, right? Okay, so that can be a real drain on your time. It's understandable that you wouldn't have the time to work out when you've got these things going on. And trust me, I know as a business owner, I'm really busy. That's the one I can relate to the most on here, is that I've always got some shit that I got to do. I've always got somewhere I've got to be. Sometimes I have to move things around. As organized as I try to be, for some reason, even myself owning a gym, sometimes I run into trouble finding the time to work out because there seems to always be something else that's more important or something else that's more pressing in my life, right? That's the case really when it comes to saying that you don't have time to work out. And you know what? All of those things are valid. They're all valid reasons for you not to get in and to work out. Really, family, kids, work, life, all of those are valid reasons. And I'm hearing the reasons why you can't work out. What I would like to hear is, what can I do with my time? Right? What can I do with the bit of time that I do have? Let's kind of explore this idea of time and what could we do? What could it be that we could solve in order to get some kind of working out? All right. So here are some ideas. Maybe we could be more efficient with our time. Maybe we could leave work a little bit quicker. Maybe you hang out around the water cooler or you chit chat with people, or maybe your boss tends to stop you at the last minute and you always cave in when the boss is like, hey, Nancy, can you stay here another hour? We really need you to, file these reports, or we really need you to restock the kitchen, or, whatever the case might be, right? Maybe that's something that happens. And maybe what you need to do is get the fuck out of your job and go to the gym right away. It sounds crazy, but it's not, because that is what I hear a lot of people here say. They say, if I don't tell my boss right away that I need to get out, then I get stuck there. Or if I stay talking to clients, not clients, but people around, if I drag my ass to get out of the place, right, then I don't have enough time to make it to my workout class, or enough time to make it to total body training here, to make it to the gym. Okay. And that would be a good place to kind of try to think about that. Maybe think about leaving work a little bit earlier than you usually would, so that you can actually find some time for you to work out. Maybe you're getting home. All right. Maybe we could just get up a little bit earlier. All right. Now, for some people, that's very doable. Some people are morning people, and they don't mind getting up a little bit earlier. Or maybe the morning is the only time that they could possibly do it, right? It's the only time. Let's say fitness is something that's really important to you, and you really need to get in better health. You really need to lose a few pounds. You really need to get moving, okay? Maybe getting up an hour earlier, going to bed a little bit later if possible. Earlier if possible, and getting up an hour earlier would afford you that free time where no one's really on you. Your kids maybe haven't gotten up yet, or maybe you get up earlier with your kids, drop them off a little bit earlier, and you go work out and then go to work, or vice versa. You get up earlier, you go work out, then you pick up your kids and you take them to work. Whatever the case might be, maybe getting up earlier is better for you. And for some people, since they're morning people, or maybe they don't know they're morning people, they might find that they feel fucking great when they get up early in the morning, work out a little bit, and then head to work, right? That might be something that you don't realize you can do, or something that you haven't really explored. And, in other cases, it's not that effective. So for me personally, I do not like getting up earlier. I feel like I don't function correctly. I'm not a morning person. I'd rather be kind of like doing creative work in the morning, or doing something else first thing in the morning. But for some people, that hour earlier is their magic hour, right? And a large amount of business entrepreneurs, athletes, people like that like to get up earlier because they're not interrupted. People aren't calling them yet. They don't have work, the kids, they don't have all these obligations when they get up a little bit earlier, while the rest of the world is kind of still getting it together, right? So maybe you want to explore that, getting up a little bit earlier. Okay. I'm not saying you have to get up at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm just saying an hour earlier, or a half hour earlier, to get in some kind of workout. So here's another one. Maybe, let's see. Maybe you're getting home. Maybe you get off work and you decide to go home first. And when you get home, you decide you want to kind of unload and de-stress and sit back and just relax from the day, because it's been a long day for you. And that's understandable. You've been behind the office, you've been sitting all day. You just kind of want to relax and chill. So you sit down and you watch some Netflix, you watch some Hulu, you do some things. Then bada bing, bada boom, your kids are home, or maybe your husband, your partner, whoever gets home, and you've got things to do all of a sudden, right? So you never really make it to the gym. Maybe if you just went to the gym right after work, right? Maybe that could be your way to de-stress. So, instead of going home where you're going to get trapped in this vortex of watching all of the Marvel shows that have came out, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, all these things. I personally love those shows. I know I can get sucked into the vortex of wanting to know what's going to happen in each episode. Binging, as we call it nowadays, can be fun, but if it's getting in the way of you getting there and taking care of yourself for just 1 hour, then maybe we need to think, hey, I should probably go to the gym first and then maybe finish off my night watching a little bit of Netflix. Maybe that would be a better way to treat your time. So what we're really talking about is time management and finding if there's something we can do to help out with our time. I'm inviting you to move a little faster. Maybe get up a little earlier or watch a little Netflix, a little less Netflix, so that you can get that workout in. That is my invitation to you. And that's my suggestion here. That's the first big one that I would say. Now, some of us have an even greater time crunch. Like maybe we just have to be home to see the kids or do work. Maybe the gym is way too far out away from our homes. Okay. So maybe we live out in, the sticks or something, and we commute to work, and getting back to the house is going to take us an hour or something like that with traffic. And, there isn't a gym that's close by there, or it's just not feasible because you have responsibilities and things to do when you get there. This is something I can relate to because I used to live over in Helotes, and my business is over here in San Antonio, in the central area of San Antonio near Alamo Heights. So I would have to drive back and forth. Sometimes I get stuck in traffic. I can relate to that, and I can see how that might be a problem for you if you've got responsibilities when you get home. So what is my suggestion here? My suggestion is that you do something at home. And do something, and there are a few ways that you can do this, all right? So there are online websites that have like at-home workouts. You can work out digitally online with a trainer because it's 2018. So you can actually work out with an entire class using some of these apps and places like that. There's like Peloton, that's a bike company that you can do a class and you can log on there with other people, with an actual trainer. There are group fitness classes that you can do online, which is pretty dang cool if you ask me. There's Daily Burn, all these places. Now, I'm not speaking to the effectiveness of these kinds of workouts. I personally think that there might be other workouts that, there could be something that might be more optimal, right? However, at this point, you ain't getting any kind of working out in, right? And so anything would be better than nothing. And so what we're going for is you just getting moving. And maybe that would be a good route for you to find some kind of like program or some kind of class that you can take online, some kind of trainer that you can work with online that watches you and expects you to be there at a certain time when you get home. That would be pretty dope. And I think that would be something that just about any of us can do. Just about any of us could find that time to do it. Now, if you're still struggling, standing in and doing things like that, here's another option. If time is still like seriously like a real problem for you, maybe doing really short workouts, maybe doing 15 to 20 minutes of a high intensity workout, or going for a 30-minute walk, right? Maybe something really like basic and easy and introductory like that may be a great way for you to just get started with exercising and get moving, because at this point, it ain't going to happen because you've got these time barriers. We've got all this shit that's going on that's stopping us from actually getting to what we actually want to do. So, what I would invite you to do is to kind of set aside the idea that you can work out for an hour. Sometimes people think like, oh my God, like, the bodybuilder chick on Instagram, she said that she does her glutes for 30 minutes and then she does 40 minutes of high intensity work and she just spends all day in the gym. In some cases they do. Some people do spend a lot of time in the gym and they honestly might be overdoing it by doing that. I have definitely overdone it. That's a different conversation. That's about chronic fatigue, something that a lot of athletes run into. We can talk about that at some other point, but here's the point is that you don't need to be in the gym for an hour. Now, I personally like a solid 1 hour workout. I think a 1 hour workout is fantastic. Working out for about 30 to 45 minutes to an hour is really, really good, but we're not focusing on the best case scenario because we just don't have time, and we just need to accept that because the time's not going to come if we couldn't solve those other issues using the ideas that I had before this, right? So what I'd recommend you do is you instead work out for 15, 20 minutes, okay? Now, here's the thing. Let's say that you take me up on this and you start doing some high intensity work, which, by the way, if you hop on our channel, you can find workouts that you can do from a gym or something like that, we've got this series called Workouts with Mel that you can do at home if you've got weights, or that you can do in your own local gym. Okay, you can follow along with us and do that there. And soon we're going to release some high intensity workouts. So you could do that way too from home. We're going to release specifically home workouts that you can do for free, gratis, to you, that you'll be able to use soon in the next 2 weeks. So let's say that you start off by doing a 15-minute HIIT workout and you see some nice results. And you're like, man, I'm looking toned. You start to see changes in your arms. You start to see changes in your stomach. You are going to run into something. It's going to happen. You're going to adapt to these workouts, and you're going to need to change it up, and you're going to need to change the difficulty that you're working out at. And when you're working with me, a trainer, a good trainer, I think I'm a pretty decent trainer, I know how to push you to the next level and how to build programming for you. But if you're on your own, you might not know how to do that. So here's the most basic level way that you can up the difficulty. You can either, if you're doing, let's say that you're doing body weight work and you're doing some high intensity stuff for 15 minutes, you can change the reps. You can change the time. So you can work out for maybe 20 minutes, right? After you've been doing this for about 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, right? That's the duration of a training cycle. You could up it to about, if you're going from 15 minutes to 20 minutes, and then up it a little bit more to 25 minutes, and then throw in some things that are more complex into your programs, right? Maybe try doing more burpees, doing higher volume work to help you out. Now, if you've got weights at home, maybe consider investing in some heavier weights. There are tons of weight sets that are affordable, that you can buy at Academy or places like this, Rogue online. You can find stuff on Amazon that you can use at home. Working out at home for you, it's going to have to be something that you're flexible with, and you're going to have to be willing to kind of like grow and develop with. And you can do this little by little. It doesn't have to be that you go out and you get all the kettlebells and you get all the dumbbells and you stock your house and things like that, because we all know someone, or maybe we've been the kind of person who's had a ton of shit, exercise, fitness shit at our homes that we don't use. I don't want you to be that. What I want you to do is start off with the bare minimum, learn really basic high intensity work, and then start to throw in other things so that you can mix up your program and keep your edge up and make sure that you're not adapting to those workouts. Really, I think that people tend to underestimate taking little baby steps with their progress. And I would think, in my opinion, that doing that is the best case scenario. I know that I've been there myself. That is something that I did when I first started. And, I wish that I'd had some kind of trainer. Maybe I wish that. But at the same time, I think that there was a pro in my own personal life when I was really struggling with my weight or really struggling with exercising, to kind of going at it with doing things at home or doing things at the gym that I had learned, high intensity work, things like that. For a long time, I would just go for a run because I didn't have the money when I was younger to go to a gym. For a long time, running would murder me when I first started out, right? And I saw some gains from that, just going for like a jog. And I'm not supposed to say that because I have a strength facility and strength training and things like that. But this is not about me or my strength facility and my fancy shit here. This is about you, person who can't make it in and can't work out, right? This is about you. And so maybe your best case scenario is that you work out in your living room and do some high intensity work with your dog there hanging out and your family there hanging out, things like that. Maybe you can go outside. If you're in an apartment complex and you're a student, you can sneak away and work out on the tennis court that's right there at your apartment complex, right? Right outside, there's maybe a tennis court or a pool that you can work out by, that you can do a 15 or 20 minute HIIT workout. If you really think about it, there really isn't a good reason, or there isn't any way that you can't not work out, unless you are just so up to your brains in work that you aren't giving yourself any amount of time. And that would be a real travesty if you're not giving yourself any amount of time. I mean, do you really not have 15 or 20 minutes to sneak away? Do you really, if you really think about it, if you really, really, really think about it, do you really not have that time? And if you don't, if you've gone through your inventory of time, your time chart, your chart of time, and you have found that you just don't have the time, then maybe you should think about your life. That's another thing that you're going to want to think about is, maybe you aren't balancing your life very well. Maybe something else needs to go, right? If you can't take care of your health, because how good is your life going to be if you don't take care of yourself? And, if you don't take care of your body and you don't take care of yourself. Now, let's get away from that. That's a different topic, but you understand where I was going for. Finally, this is my other tip. My final tip is that if you just can't get into working out for very long, maybe you're doing 15-minute workouts like I suggested, that you focus on nutrition. Most of it is your nutrition. It plays a huge role in how you feel and how you look and, whether or not you're losing weight. It just hands down. People work out for years and they never lose weight because they never change their eating. In fact, sometimes people start working out and they actually become worse eaters because they think that they're balancing it out, or that they're, somehow that if I work out, then I can have pizza because I saw the Instagram model who took a photo of herself having pizza. Right? They think these ways, or they're burning more, so they want to eat more, but then in the process, they eat way too much more. Okay. That I've been there. This isn't something to put you down or anybody like that. I've definitely made that mistake of overeating my carbs when I was a long distance runner. And that just gets converted into fat, y'all. So my recommendation is that you focus on your diet. And the cool thing about focusing on diet is that you don't have to go to a fancy training facility. There are places online you can go with nutritionists who can help you online to help you lose weight and get in shape. Or you can use MyFitnessPal because it's free. And you can use that to help you out. Now, you might have tried some of these things. Maybe you've tried MyFitnessPal or one of these programs and you thought, well, shit, it doesn't fucking work. I tried to lose weight using that and it didn't work. Well, how long did you really try? Like how much effort did you really give to using that? And it's okay if you need further assistance or if you didn't understand it. I get that. It's confusing, like for sure. If you have the extra money, find somebody to help you with your nutrition. If you don't, then give MyFitnessPal a little bit more of an effort, because chances are, if you don't take care of this now, that you won't be able to take care of it next week or the next month. The time, the dieting, all this stuff isn't just going to show up. Like, you're going to have to find a way. And that's what I'm inviting you here to do, is to find a reason for you to improve. Find a reason for you to make the time or to work around the time to get what you want for your body and your life. All right, people, thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed this message. Until next time, peace.